3 games in 4 nights. The Warriors smoked the Grizzlies. They smoked the Lakers. And now they just smoked the Nuggets on the back-to-back. And now they're coming for that 3 seed. Let's talk about it. Hey, so much for that narrative that the Warriors haven't played anyone yet. In the span of the last 4 days, they dropped off Ja. They dropped off LeBron. They dropped off Luka. And now they just dropped off Jokic. That's 3 straight teams in 1 week that's directly ahead of them in the standings. At this point, the haters are running out of material. The Warriors starting 5 of Steph Curry, Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green is now 14-0. That's the longest active win streak for a starting 5 in the league. The Warriors are now 20-2 in games where Steph and Jimmy Butler both play. Let's look at some of these eye-popping stats since the Jimmy Butler trade. Pre-Jimmy Butler, the Warriors were 18th in offensive rating with a 111.8. They were 10th in defensive rating with a 112.2. Overall, they were ranked 16th in net rating with a -0.4. After the Jimmy Butler trade, they went from 18th in offensive rating to 4th with a 119.2. Their defensive rating went from 10th to 1st with a 109.4. Their net rating went from 16th to 3rd with a 9.7. Those stats are absolutely insane. The Jimmy Butler trade literally made the Warriors elite on both ends of the court. This 3-game stretch of 3 games in 4 nights was the ultimate test of whether the Warriors are like that or not. And they're like that. It's crazy to think that this Warriors team was 25-26, 1 game under 500 before they made the Jimmy Butler trade. And now they're not only in position to win 50 games, but they have a legitimate shot at the 3rd seed. From the 11th seed to possibly the 3rd seed in a span of 2 months. The acquisition of Jimmy Butler was essential to this Warriors turnaround because the Warriors desperately needed a talent upgrade. But the man at the forefront of it all is no other than Steph Curry. Steph's on a mission right now. He senses the moment. You can tell his belief has been ignited. He's finally back to playing meaningful basketball, and he believes they have a legitimate shot at another title. All Steph ever wanted was to be in the mix, and if you're in the mix, you got a chance. And this Warriors team most definitely has a chance to win a championship. And if Steph's recent play is any indicator of what's to come, the league's in trouble. Look at Steph's stats the last 3 games. Mind you, this man is 37 years old. He just dropped 36 on the Nuggets on 7-15 shooting from 3. Last night against the Lakers, he gave them 37. And in his most impressive game of the stretch, he dropped 52 on the Memphis Grizzlies. Steph went for 52 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 5 steals. He went 16 of 31 from the field and 12 of 20 from 3, 8 of 8 from the free throw line with a +17 for the game. 52 points, 12 made threes. Steph had 19 in the first quarter of this game. He had 32 at halftime and was 8 of 10 from 3. I thought this was for sure the game where Steph breaks Klay Thompson's 3-point record. He ended up finishing 2 made 3 shy of tying it, so Klay's record is safe for now. Alright, let's talk about Draymond Green, who looks like he's running away with the depoy. Draymond's holding all-star points to 41% from the field and 31% from 3. He's anchoring an elite defense, and most betting odds have him as a clear favorite. Draymond winning another Defensive Player of the Year at 35 years old is crazy, but this isn't some Lifetime Achievement Award. He absolutely deserves it. Outside of Wemby, who no longer qualifies, Draymond's been the best defender in the league. Just how adding Jimmy Butler helped Steph offensively by adding another elite shot creator and playmaker. The addition of Jimmy helps Draymond offensively as well. Just having another defensive player next to him on the backline is extremely smart. It frees up Draymond more to do what he does defensively. I think it's safe to say Poz took a leap. After starting off to a slow start shooting the ball, Poz is now up to 37% from 3. His 3-point shooting is really starting to become a weapon. He's just a more efficient, more dynamic, more confident 3-point shooter than he was last season. And his improvement from 3 is making his team extremely dangerous because teams are selling out on Steph and they're trying to mug up the offense. So teams are leaving Poz and Moody open for the most part. We've seen a lot of that against the Lakers. Teams have been daring Poz to kill him from 3. And he's done just that. If Poz is a player you can't leave open from 3 in the starting lineup, I mean, that basically just scraps a lot of teams' defensive plans. Adding Jimmy Butler as another steady ball handler, shot creator, and playmaker has appropriately put Poz in his ideal role. Looking back a few more games, Poz had 27 points, 7 of 9 from 3 against the Spurs. A few games later against the Lakers, 28 points, 8 for 10 from 3. This last game against the Nuggets, 26 points, 4 for 8 from 3. If this 3-point shooting improvement from Poz is real, the scary hours for the league, because not only has his 3-point shooting improved, he added a mid-range game. He hit like 4 or 5 middies against Denver, and he's getting more and more confident with it by the game. Poz completely cut those wild floaters and hook shots out of his game, and he replaced it with a midi pull-up. He also has a fall-away midi that he likes to get to, and not just the shooting. His pace and control with the ball in his hands has improved as well. You can clearly see the game is slowing down for Poz, and he's someone that you could tell even as a rookie processed the game pretty fast. So for the game to slow down even more for him, combined with his improved 3-point shooting and added mid-range, he's an extremely valuable player for the Warriors now and going forward. Getting this level of production on a rookie contract is extremely valuable. He literally just turned 22 years old. Alright, let's talk about Kuminga. There's a huge spotlight on JK right now. Every minute he's on a court is under heavy scrutiny. But I think overall he's played pretty well since coming back from his recent injury, especially the game against the Lakers, where he gave the Warriors exactly what they needed. I was extremely impressed with JK's performance. He played under control with 4 assists and 0 turnovers. He moved the ball well and got the ball to Steph when needed, but called his own number at opportunistic times that didn't disrupt the offense. He was by far the best athlete on the court, and he gave the Lakers problems. They couldn't deal with this combination of size and athleticism. One of the ways playing next to Jimmy Butler benefits JK. The other team's gonna put their best, usually biggest defender on Jimmy Butler, and rarely do teams have two big defensive wings to deploy, which means it's probably gonna be a little defender on Kuminga. And if he has a size and strength advantage, as long as he's playing under control and patient, that's something the Warriors can exploit, as they did against the Lakers. Kuminga was also a monster on the boards this game. He had 9 rebounds in 25 minutes played. If he can continue to crash the boards like that, efficiently pick his spots offensively, while also being a ball-moving cog in offense, and locking up defensively, that's exactly what the Warriors are looking for from Kuminga, who, by the way, was a switching demon against the Lakers. He had possessions where he was matched up against Luka, LeBron, Reeves, and he held his own in all those matchups. Against the Nuggets, the Warriors had a stretch where they had him guarding Jokic, while the Warriors were deploying a box-and-one defensive scheme, and it actually worked. Now, I'm not sure that's sustainable, but the fact that the Warriors trusted and challenged Kuminga in that assignment, and he held up against the best player in the league that has at least 70 pounds on him, that's pretty impressive. Alright, let's take a look at these standings real quick. After the win against the Nuggets, the Warriors are currently 5th, but they're only half a game behind the Nuggets for the 4th seed, and they're 1 game behind the Lakers. Now the Nuggets and Lakers both have the tiebreaker over the Warriors, so it's more like 1.5 games out of the 3rd seed. But hey, with 5 games left to play, and the Warriors continue to handle business, anything can happen. It's crazy to think about, but the Warriors are definitely in the mix for the 3rd seed, which would be an insane turn of events. But as you can see, the T-Wolves, Clippers, and Grizzlies are all 1 game back of the Warriors, so nothing's set in stone yet. And if the Warriors let off the gas pedal, they could end up in the play-in still. So I guess they just gotta keep winning. Hey, don't let the Warriors get the 3rd seed. I'm just saying. Anyways, that's all I got for y'all. If I entertained you or you learned something new, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. I'll hot you on the next one. Peace.